This comment right here completely hits the nail on the head. So it does seem silly in hindsight, like when you stop and think about it. And then the part of the comment that you can't see, she goes on to say, however, sadly, some brands that later unintentionally discover something isn't performing as intended are completely unbothered. And while, yes, this can and does happen and will happen again in the future for sure, it does not happen as much as we are led to believe that it happens. And the reason we're led to believe that this is happening all the time is just because brands are trying to get a one-up on their competitors and they're trying to make their competitors look bad. But let's talk about why this sometimes does happen. And the reason it happens is usually due to a lack of R&D or a lack of testing. And well, you do have to, do stability and safety testing to bring a product to market. And there are, it's known what you have to do if you're the brand. There's a lot more tests that you can opt to do. However, to take these tests, obviously, not only does it cost a lot of money, it's expensive, it also costs a lot of time, which not all brands have a lot of time. Especially if the test discovers something negative or it isn't working, then they have to go back to the drawing board, reformulate, and do everything all over again. So you could see how that is very expensive for both time and money-wise. Another thing is lack of R&D. And R&D is another thing that is very expensive. And not everybody has full access to an R&D department or all R&D records, right? Because if a brand has their own R&D department, they don't have to share everything that they've discovered. So when you think about that, it is very heavy. You can see it gets very complicated very quickly. It also gets very costly very quickly. And so bigger brands with bigger budgets will have this happen less, and smaller brands or indie brands will have it happen more. And it stinks when it does happen, but how the brand handles it, that is what we're looking for. Do they recall their products? Do they issue a public apology? Are they transparent about what they're doing about it? Things like that. I hope this helped to give you a little bit of insight as to what happens when things go wrong behind the scenes within our industry.